Hello and welcome to the Karina Astor Alchemy Community. I am Karina Astor, your alchemy guide, and I'm so glad to be here. Also, many of you know me as Tanya Augusta, and I formerly went by that. So, yes, all my old videos um, say Tanya Augusta. Obviously, you can see it's me. But I thought I would clarify that I did change my name last year, and yeah, it's a thing. So, anyway, if you call me Tanya and you knew me by Tanya, that's great. Otherwise, I am Corinna, and so that's what I choose to go by now, except for with family and old friends. So, I am here today to talk about the power of the mind, to talk about the collective mind, the collective energy of the power of the mind, and that collective energy and how it affects us. And then also about just, again, how powerful you actually are, that you are more powerful than you think you are. And I want you to remember how powerful you are so that you can be that powerful creator and create an amazing life. Because I love hearing people share their stories about what it is that they're doing that is exciting, what they're creating. And I definitely am happy to hear people's stories of where they're being challenged. And that's okay too. I mean, all of our things are valid, but we all have a bigger mission to live here and we have more things that we want to do. And if we don't know what we want to do yet, that's okay. That's one of the things that I love to help with. And I'll be talking a lot more about going forward as I am announcing my new program. And I'll be sharing more about that very soon. But anyway, I want to talk today about managing energies. And the first thing I want to say is that, our thoughts are not us. And it is really important to know that sometimes we have silly and strange and weird thoughts, and also that we are very impacted by the energies of whatever cycles that we are in. And different people feel things differently based on their astrological energies. And so some of us have challenging energies from different months to different weeks to different days, obviously. And so, whatever is going on collectively, we may be feeling it stronger as well. And other people, they just may be going through easier transits and they may not be feeling the more difficult things at times. And so, just remember that if you are experiencing something difficult, that it is really a good idea to reach out to others, to check in, to ask around, and find out if other people are also experiencing something. Because when you know that other people are also suffering, it really does help you to not go into a story or to react or overreact. And that is just so important for us to remember going forward. And also, I'm just a huge proponent of conscious communication, and that is something that I teach. And I have really learned all of my work from the nonviolent communication field. And I have just chosen to call it conscious communication. I love that language and I love that terminology and feel that that is a more embodied form of what we're striving for. And so I choose to say that, but it is all from the NVC, nonviolent communication work, and it is a brilliant book and work, and on Audible available, and I highly encourage people to seek after that. But kind of tangenting here, I tend to do that a lot. So back to really what I want to say about collective energies is that I recently had a very interesting experience within a group. And I'm not going to spend too much time on the details of this, but just to share that it was a very insightful journey because what happened was that there were some women that were in a messenger group. And so hopefully most people know Messenger, but it's like a text message group. And so there isn't really any kind of rules or a moderator or anything. It's usually just be like, hey, let's meet up and, uh, more of that kind of thing. And so some people started expressing some personal issues in there. And we had what transpired from there was then a cascade of people sharing their hurts with one another. And like I said, it was a cascading effect. It was a domino effect of that. And as a group of healers and intuitive women, sensitive people, it was very amplified and in a very quick time. And so this was something that ended up being um, difficult for all of us that were there, and people began to leave the group, and I was encouraging people to stop texting about it and use either a voice message or like really actually encouraging people to like let's get together and show up and talk about this. And so yeah, and that is so important to remember going forward, that there are very powerful energies at play, and that again, this is the wood dragon year, and uh, the young wood dragon year, and we are going to be feeling that energy amplify in the second part of the year. We're still in the first half through the end of July, and so I would just really encourage people to yeah, think about really what is it that your biggest message is in this world, and what it is that you're wanting to do. And then also just know that these really big energies are affecting us, and that sometimes that is what is impacting us. So, uh, along with that, I want to share that I'm really going to go into a lot of tools today, because I definitely suffered in this experience from just overthinking, from ruminating, from feeling very sad, feeling very affected by this group, and how it wasn't anybody attacking me, or and it was a lot of confusion energy, and I really didn't want to get into taking sides with anybody, and I didn't want to get into knowing all the little details, because reading text again doesn't feel like I'm really learning the truth from each party, and I would rather hear it from them individually and or together, and try to discuss and work through it. And so I am a huge proponent of this, and I will probably be starting some circles, so keep an ear out for that, but to do some discussions. But in the meantime, I just want to say that, yeah, there's so much to this power of the collective mind, and it was such a great example to show how that negative energy can just really impact us. And I do tend to forget this, because I actually have a very low media intake, and I do keep awareness on the peripheral, but I don't listen to a lot of things, and really try to be very mindful of what I ingest and how often. And while I may not be aware of everything, um, certainly not a lot of things, I do, try to still stay aware and updated on some, current and world issues. And, I don't want to stick my head in the sand, but at the same time, media is one of those things that impacts us a lot. And we all know this. And there is often nothing better that we can do for ourselves than to actually take a break from media. And I very much encourage that a lot, that we need to take a break from being on Wi-Fi, from our phones, whether or not we're watching media, whether it's positive or not. I mean, I can, I follow lots of astrology. I'm researching astrology. I'm researching all kinds of things in my free time from time to time. And other times I'm listening to a lot of music, but either way, sometimes I go into really good periods of silence and not having those things on in the background, which is so important, because having all this Wi-Fi and distraction is a distraction, and it is impacting us, and it's impacting us in ways that we don't yet recognize and that we can't always know. And it's not something that some of us grew up with, and it's not some of us, whether or not it is or not, it's very healthy and needed to unplug. And this is something I'm a huge proponent about. And I talk about earthing a lot. And, getting out and grounding and putting your feet on the grass in nature is so important in our healing journey. But also just getting into the mountains or woods, or off grid, and getting away from it all without being on your phone is so imperative. Or if you have your phone and it is, not working, but, you can still take photos, I think that's great. I definitely love to do some photography as I'm hiking around in my, I'm not getting any Wi-Fi. So That's or even, if I can get Wi-Fi occasionally and I'm hiking, I still have my phone in airplane mode so that I'm not having that exposure to myself. So I really encourage that for you. And I think that is so important for us. But yeah, it is really amazing how even a small group can really amplify energy. And so, we think about the power of prayer and we talk about, coming together in these prayer groups. And I think sometimes we don't hear a lot about the power of the prayer because we can't always see it. We don't always know it. And so we can easily think it's not important. It's not something that obviously the news covers. The news wants to always reiterate the negative. And so there is an agenda behind the news. There are corporations that own all the big news outlets. In fact, even, alternative media, I think there could be energies or corporate entities behind that is still having a more negative agenda, and we don't really know. But the point is that when we're focused on the negativity, we're putting that out into the world, and it is amplifying that. And even when we have good meaning and good intention, like, okay, I want to stay abreast of what is going on so I can understand it, again, you have to very much limit your intake of things like what's going on with the wars and what's going on with the different things, because it can make us very unstable. We can feel very quickly like a victim, or we can feel very helpless or hopeless, or we can, fall into the role of the rescuer or the perpetrator. So, getting on that victim triangle, rescuer, victim, perpetrator, we can just get lost in this thoughts and this rumination cycle where it will really impact our health in a very negative way. And that really affects the earth element, our spleen and stomachs, our digestion, and our ability to nourish ourselves with our food and really intake that nourishment from the food. When we are ingesting too much information, if we are not giving our mind a rest, and if we are not giving our mind a rest and we're impacting that digestion, we're also impacting in a negative way our vagal nerve, and so therefore our nervous system, and it cascades into that effect of getting interfering in our other organ systems, and we start to begin to have issues like sleep. It affects our heart, right? And so we're going to really feel insomnia coming on. We're going to have anxiety. We're going to have heart palpitations. We may have depression. These different forms of how this may express are different for each person, but um, and again, depending on the different emotions that we're feeling and how that expresses in the body will always be individual. So um, I just really encourage you to be aware of again the collective energy, and know that we are very powerful collectively to focus on something positive. And it's okay for us to be aware of things, but also like, let's work on amplifying some of this group prayer, or let's amplify like knowing like I am a powerful creator. And maybe we need to be in a group of people where we're like, hey, we're all gonna like focus, this one day a week where we try to do it every day, or whatever your goal is with your visualization, you can have that individually, but then, we can come together in groups where we can support one another. And I very much encourage this, whether it's, praying for peace in the world, and or just praying for also, seeing ourselves achieving these goals that we want to achieve, which we all have, even if we don't know what it is yet. Maybe it's just the like, I need to get out of this funk so I can figure out what are my next steps, right? So, and I'll just say really quickly that I have a blog out that is the 4 ways to make an important shift that will last. And so those 4 ways, first is that you have to have the belief that you can make that change. The second is to master your mind and your language. And thirdly, to take the action steps. So that can be both spiritual, but it also must include physical steps. So we can pray and ask our higher self and guidance, but we got to ask or get our feet on the ground, and move more. And then surrounding ourselves with the right people. So again, that group energy, we have to have that power of others that are on the same page with us. And so that can sometimes take some time to find as well. But yeah, so I also want to share that, I've definitely had my personal struggles recently. There have been some very tough energies, and there are some tough energies this month that we will be working through in the next few days, especially. And I'm not going to be going into the astrological energies today. I'm going to do a separate video for that, but because there's way too much to say, and I really want to keep this to really, how to heal and how to work through staying empowered or getting back into our empowerment. And so, in recently with all this mind chatter that I've been going through personally, and it wasn't just to do with this group. I had other things that were challenging me personally, that I had to yeah, work with. I, of course, was getting out. I was doing my earthing. I was also doing the breathwork yoga that I teach, and I highly recommend breathwork. It is so powerful in creating emotional resilience, especially when you do it weekly. People really get more benefits, so it is that compounding effect. I do teach 3 classes a week, so I will have that information below this video on more information on my specific form. It's called Sukshma Viyama, and I refer to it as pranic breathwork yoga, but it is just such a wonderful practice because you get so energized if you do it in the morning, especially. You have great energy all day, and then basically there's, yeah, amazing benefits in so many ways, but it is really a very emotionally balancing practice. And it if I did not do it as often as I did, as I do, I would not be as emotionally stable as I am. And so this is why I talk about it often, and why I love teaching it. And I just, I'm always like, hey, reaching out to people like, hey, you want to try this or come back to class? And people get just amazing results. So I'd love to see you there. I have, again, online classes and in-person classes. So, and then not only that, but I sometimes teach the EFT, the emotional freedom technique, and tapping. And it's something that I sometimes forget about in my bag, but I was watching some inspiring reels as I was struggling mentally, emotionally recently. And so as I was watching a few reels, and they were, and again, uplifting me, which I definitely recommend to do. Again, we don't want to be on our phone a long time when we're struggling, because the EMFs, the electromagnetic frequencies, can negatively influence us. But sometimes we need to get something to distract us for a little while that's positive. And I think, it can be a good tool to watch a few reels and then also reel it back in, right? And know, like, hey, I need time back off the phone again. But I definitely was so excited that I found a little EFT video that came up again. And I was like, wow, thank you guys to send this one to me. And it was perfect timing because I got into my tapping and was able to really shift quickly, not only physical pain, but mental and emotional pain. And as I teach, and as you may know, often our physical pain really stems from that mental and emotional pain that we are initially feeling. And so, just know that that is a really great tool. It is something that I walk people through in my alchemy coaching. And so if you want support with that, I can teach that. And it is something that you can learn over time to do very quickly for yourself. And then, just really just spending so much time outside earthing. And if you're really struggling, like laying outside in the grass, like spend a couple hours just being outside, under the shade of a tree, and or near a garden or near some flowers or trees, something that's beautiful that you can look at. And that, again, just having your hands, your feet on the earth, and getting that fresh air, even if you are in an area like we are, where the air quality is being impacted. We still want to try to get outside as often as possible, or for some time each day. It's so important. I mean, there is still so many positive, things about being in nature that we got to keep remembering and coming back to. So, if you have pets, also, as we all know, they are all our emotional, support animals. And so, petting your pets, asking them to, come cuddle with you, and Obviously that is a really great way to regulate. So I encourage that. If you don't, you can get lotion and putting lotion on yourself, taking a bath, getting into these sensory experiences. So, making sure you're using essential oils, getting some in your hands, smelling them, putting them on yourself. These are beautiful ways to, use plant medicine that is so accessible to all of us and that can really help shift us in a positive direction really quickly as well. So yeah, definitely have some of those on hand. And then herbs, like I'm always got my herbal tea that I'm drinking today. Yes, it's still summer, but I'm enjoying some warm herbal tea, that uh, I can really that can really assist me in my process and healing my body. And so, not only, our herbal tea is a great thing, but other Chinese herbs. And if you are dealing with any kind of pain or issue that you want more support with, I can certainly help with that too, whether it's through our holistic nutrition coaching or the acupressure and body work that I include that with. So yeah, we can always talk more, but these things can help shift our bodies in such powerful ways when we use plant medicine. And I have so many different ones for different things that I have used personally or clients have used that have been very effective. And, plant medicine is such a powerful thing. And I just love continuing to learn more about it and finding new ones that, from different mushrooms and things that are just really impacting my life in profound ways and in my clients' lives. So definitely reach out if you want to learn anything more. And of course, food is medicine too, is always so important to come back to. We at least have 3 meals a day, often like five, with snacks and such. So, there's a lot of fruits and veggies and other supportive whole foods that can shift our mind, shift our emotions and body. That's something that I teach a lot in, again, my in my body work that I do and in my coaching. So there are a few more videos that I'll have a link to at the end here, and definitely check them out to support you. I have my Simplify and Heal through the 9 tenets of wellness, as well as 7 steps to heal trauma. So do check those out. I am just so happy that you're here. And I have some more to go, but we're almost to the end. So but as you are shifting through different parts of all of this, with the mindset, like we have to feel our feelings. And so, I was talking about these different processes to help shift out where, we're earthing, we're being outside, we're doing the EFT. So crying, releasing, and so we're really getting into the body to feel, to let it go, using the supportive foods, herbs, things to mitigate and to assist, having these plant allies to assist us. And then we have to come back to, again, like what can bring us joy. So like I mentioned, finding the reels to be like, okay, I need an inspiring video, or I need that good music. I need to put on some of my favorite songs or playlists, and um, finding something that will uplift us and bring us joy in that way. And then really, with this mindset, it is next about finding ways to visualize and also repatterning, because we can get stuck in these ruts. And I so much know this, and I have a lot of mastery of the mind. It's part of my astrology. If you want to learn a little bit more about your Magi astrology, also I have a friend, Andrea Blythe. I will have a connection down below here to find out more, but you can find out what your cards are. So all the deck of cards, we have an astrology with a specific 1 or 2 cards in our lifetime, and there's way more into the astrology with that, but it's about the Magi and this whole astrology system that went underground, and they use the card deck. So one of my cards is the King of Clubs, and so it means that I have mastery of the mind. And so this is why I teach mindset, and of course I struggle with it from time to time, but I definitely have gained more mastery as someone in my now 40s, mid 40s. And so it is something where I continue to come back to my tools and use them, of course, but yeah, there's a lot of like reframing that we have to figure out. And so it's like, okay, well, I've been thinking about, I keep going back into thinking about this thing that's bothering me, but then it's like, okay, again, finding that awareness. Okay, I'm doing that. I'm thinking that. I don't want to continue that. Like, how can I mitigate this energy leak, right? So, recognizing I have this energy leak around this thing. And then it's like, all right, well, what is it that I'm wanting to create though? What is it that I actually want to have? Okay, so I am wanting to bring in, for me, it's a healthy partnership and finding a very compatible dating person. And, I'm getting a lot closer because I know, really what I want at this point in my life. And so it's very easy to find, pretty quickly in the beginning, like, okay, does this person really align with me in the important ways that I know that I need? And, in my values and my needs and how they're showing up and our compatibility. And so, of course, these things can still take some time, but so I have to, for me, visualize, okay, and or reframe, like, okay, so I've been feeling this because I had a past dating situation that was fizzled out, and it's easy to want to sometimes feel sad about that or look at that and be like ruminate, figure out, oh, why did it go wrong, and where did it go wrong, and what did that mean, or what happened there. But it's like, okay, well, I can spend so much time on that, and I'm just using my example so that you can know what to do for yourself. But I have to really get back to like, what is it that I want? And so the ways that I do that are I find an example from my past that was really positive. And so hopefully you have something where you can be like, I remember a time in my life when I was really peaceful. Maybe it was as a child or an early adult. There was some time in my life that I was really peaceful. If you're trying to get back to finding yourself in a peaceful space, for example. Um, and so finding myself in, a healthy dating relationships, like I have had that. And maybe it didn't last super long, but I've had that. And so like going back and remembering that and feeling that. And then like actually not only feeling it, but really feeling the excitement around it and really getting into that joy and that love and gratitude. Or we have to figure out what the emotion is for us that we're wanting to build. And so those are some really great ones, but maybe it's again just building that emotion of peace. And so really tuning into that. And this is something that those of you who see me for body work, that we do this meditation when you work with me, where we get into that emotion and we visualize every time to help us to see where is it that we're wanting to go, because we have to get excited about this feeling. So we want to get into our inspiration, our love, our gratitude, our joy, our peace. And so once we can really, you know, get that excitement building, it's so much easier for our body to move forward and to actually want to um, not, well, it is easy to create so much more quickly. Okay. And this is the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, as many of you might already be aware of, but yeah, it is so powerful and so easy. And so, yeah, we really just have to get back into that reframing and just continuing to be like awareness. Okay. Yep. There I went on that tangent again. Okay. But what can I think instead? All right. Now I'm going to go into the positive thought of this. And now I'm going to see myself in this, and I'm going to visualize and bring in that emotion as I visualize. And you get into better habits, and the more that you step into that, you can continue to gain more mastery. And I'll be going into this more in future videos, but also I think, as I mentioned in the beginning of this, is that I am going to be doing an online program in the near future where I'm going to be teaching people how to do a lot more mindset, and it's going to be in a group format at a very affordable rate for so many people. So I look forward to helping people shift through life changes and whatever it is that you're experiencing, where I can support you. And so we'll be continuing to talk a lot about this mindset, about energy management, about food, body awareness, and all these tools. So I am so excited to announce more of that soon. But yeah, definitely keep your eyes out for that. And in the meantime, let me know what you learned in this video. Where are you at with your mind in this moment, or how has the collective energy been impacting you? What have you learned? Please drop a line below. You know that comments definitely help my videos to get more traction, and I just want you to know that I very much appreciate you. I really don't take for granted that I am a community leader. I have been through so many years of trauma and um, worked so hard to unravel a lot of trauma. And I don't have kids, and so I have had the blessing of choosing a life where I don't have to put my energy into that direction. And so that I could learn and heal a lot. And it has also caused me grief to not go that direction, of having a family and of having that path. And at the same time, it is the path that I know I am here to do and that I continue to do to assist in healing others. And it is my joy and my gratitude. And I always get emotional. So anyway, thank you so much again for being here. Again, like this video if it has helped you, share it with a friend. And I, again, will have some more, another video very soon on the astrological energies. So definitely keep an eye out for that in the next few days. It'll be out very soon. I am going to be going into both Chinese and Western astrology. So you're not going to want to miss it. And I'm just so thrilled that you're here. And welcome for those that are new. And again, thank you if you are returning. So I look forward to seeing you real soon. Have a wonderful day.